Hi, this is a video response to Avalon Moon's video about, what was the title? Must I be a skinny bitch? And let me just say that this is a topic that hits me very close to home. So just be warned, there might be some ranting in this video. Now, I am obese. There's no way around it, I'm obese. And first of all, let me say that I don't think there are any more people who are overweight in the pagan community than in any other community. When I've been to various pagan, new age and such events, there are about the same number of people that's fat, that people that's thin, and people that's in between as everywhere else. However, I've seen this trend in both the pagan, new age, occult community, but also in other alternative communities, like for example the goth lifestyle, or among people that practice BDSM and so on, that often being overweight is a bit more accepted, so that those of us who do have some pounds and kilos too much don't go around with our heads bowed and say, "I'm sorry that I live, that my fatness offends you." Instead, we are out there, we live our lives, and I think therefore it might be more noticeable with overweight pagans, but that doesn't mean that there are more of them. Now, first of all, people like, for example, you, Avalon Moon, is not overweight in any way, shape and form, and it is ridiculous that you shouldn't be allowed to have the body you have. I mean, that's just that thinness hysteria, which is all over the place currently. I mean, my mother, she has a friend, and she is struggling with her weight, with gaining weight, because she have had cancer treatment, and it has, I'm not completely sure what her condition is, but she's so skinny. I mean, she's taller than me. I think she might be 176 or cm or so, and she weigh under 50 kilos. And we had a look at it, and if she were a model, she would be a large model. I mean, it's ridiculous. My mother was watching some sort of model program, I don't know, top model, whatever it was. And there was a girl there. She was 180 tall, and she weighed 50 kilos. She was underweight, and she was told she had to lose quite a bit of weight if she was going to show jeans because she was too fat. And there was this, I think it was French Fashion Week. They got in so much trouble because they said, we are gonna ban seriously underweight models, so models have to have a BMI of at least 18 to be allowed to attend. And the fashion community was, no, we won't have this, we want our models to starve themselves to death on the stage. Basically, what's in fashion isn't healthy bodies, because being that thin isn't healthy. You are healthy. You have a reasonably thin, quite slender, healthy body. That's what healthy is. That's what a woman is supposed to look like. A woman isn't supposed to look like she's only skin and bones. So that part of it is stupid. What is being considered fat is just being pressed down and down and down and down. It's idiotic that, for example, Marilyn Monroe, who in her time was considered one of the most beautiful women in the world, she would be considered fat today. So there is this hysteria about being as thin as humanly possible, and quite inhumanly possible, and I think it's stupid. So I'm all for people having natural looking reasonably slender bodies. But it doesn't, if you are a few pounds here, have a few pounds here, a few pounds there, and you have a butt, and you have thigh, and you have boobs, why is this a problem? Why is this being considered fat? Why is having a normal body weight being considered fat? That's just stupid. Now, let's move on to people like me who are obese. Yes, there is a health risk at being my weight. And yes, there is an epidemic of weight issues in the world. And I don't see a problem in trying to work against that. But the problem is how one does that. So, for example, in Norway they questioned a lot of doctors, and where they could answer anonymously, and 40% of those doctors said that if you were overweight, they wanted to be able to down prioritize you so that you wouldn't get medical attention. They wanted you to die because you were fat. This isn't it's unbelievable. And there are places in the United States where if you are fat, you can't go to the clinics. Doctors are refusing fat people aid. And there are several people I've talked with that said, no, they would never hire someone who is fat, because there is this myth that if you're overweight, then you're lazy. Because of course, if you're overweight, all you do is sit on your butt all day and eat hamburgers. Because that's what people think. And usually these are people that have never, ever been fat. Who has never had a friend who has fat, weight issues. And these people say they would never hire someone. I mean, if any other group was discriminated against in that way, that doctors wanted to refuse them aid, that employers wouldn't hire them, don't you think that there would be an outcry? But no, there are two groups in society that everybody thinks it's okay to treat like shit. And that is A, fat people, and B, Muslims. And both of it is just as much bullshit. Basically, overweight has more nuances than someone eating too much. For example, you have genetics. You have many people who are overweight have issues like depression or something like that. There are other medical issues that means that you eat medicine which negatively affects your weight. There are so many things that could lead to someone being overweight. And then of course you have what you rightfully points out, who the hell has the right to dictate how people are supposed to look? I mean, why is it okay to... it's considered more okay to drink, more okay to smoke, more okay to do a lot of things that is dangerous to your health than having some kilos too much. And it's like, if I, like, as a fat person, says that I'm happy with my looks, I'm happy with myself, then it's, oh, you're so lazy, you have given up, no, at some point, basically, I'm not gonna sit with my head bowed and say my life is gonna start the moment I'm 10. I've tried that. My life is now. And if I manage to lose some weight, then that would be great. But my life is now, and I'm gonna live, I'm gonna practice my religion, I'm gonna eat I'm gonna love, I'm gonna study, I'm going to do all those things, and I'm gonna be happy about myself as I am now. Yes, I want to lose some weight because that would be healthy. But it's not like I can't be happy about myself the way I am, because nobody but me has any business in how much I weigh or how I look. Now, I think that if the pagan community has tries to do it positively to encourage people to eat healthy and stay in good shape, then I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is if they do it in a negative way. They talk shit about people who are overweight, if they try to exclude people who are overweight from the community, if people who are overweight are made to feel like we are less worth than those that are thin. And they should also perhaps think about the fact that scientists have researched this, and yes, the most healthy is to be about like you are and well trained. That's the best way, that's the most healthy way of condition your body can be in. But if it's actually more unhealthy to be thin and completely untrained and basically never exercising and so on, than it is to be in good shape but overweight. So it's actually more important to get people to exercise than getting people to eat less. So, I mean that if the pagan community wants to be positive about it, wants to like have, for example, put up community walks, they could collect, have, oh, when I rant, my head just go poof. Basically, if they had a certain day in the week, for example, where the pagans in the area could meet and go for a walk in nature, perhaps have a ritual, that would be beneficial to everybody's health. That would be exercise. You could even perhaps have get together as a group and go to the gym, and perhaps even get the gym to lower its prices because you come as a group. All such things would be positive, and I'm for that. Because, I mean, you have a health risk by being overweight. Oh yeah, I need to mention that as well. People say that if you're overweight, you're unhealthy. That is wrong. If you're overweight, you have a greater risk of becoming unhealthy. It's not like you are fat, you die. It's like you are fat, you have a greater chance of having several types of illnesses. But there are a lot of people who are overweight who are healthy. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying, like having these kinds of activities as a group, that's very positive. And I'll give my support completely to that, and that might even motivate me to get training. I do a bit of belly dancing and a bit of Pilates and yoga, but I definitely need to move more. And I mean, if the New Agers, occultists, and pagans in my community had one of those get-togethers a week, I might attend that. That's positive. That's promoting good health among pagans, but focusing only on the weight and saying we have too many big pagans. That just makes me mad, because it makes me feel unwelcome. That, I mean, within the pagan community and the occult community and the New Age community, what should matter is a person a good person? Is they reasonably decent? And other than that, what should matter is their skill and their knowledge of the craft. That should be what you judge them on. Their actions, their skill, and their knowledge, not their looks and their weight. I think that I don't think it's positive to say that, okay, I'm gonna celebrate the weight. I'm going to, everything is a-okay about being this obese as I am. Because it's not, it is a health risk. But at the same time, treating me like shit because I am overweight, that's not okay either. And having these ideas that if you're overweight, you're lazy, you're worthless, and so on, it's just false. And I think that it's about time that different kinds of communities stop bullying people who are overweight. And especially I hate it when it comes to, like for example, the Pagan community. It generally has been very tolerant. They're tolerant of people of various sexual orientations, they're tolerant of people of different skin colors, they're tolerant of people of various paths, faiths and religions, and I've been tolerant of people with various forms of looks. I want people to look at one another and not just see their appearance, but see who they are. I mean, when I try to express myself about various occult topics, I speak from my experience in my years of practice. It's not my fat speaking. And you know how I got that experience? I worked hard. Having a problem with losing weight doesn't mean that you can't work hard on something. I mean, those people that say, oh, but it's just stopping eating that much and exercising more. Yeah, if it was that easy, would there be anyone who were this fat? Would anyone willingly take the social ridicule, the scorn, the health risk, all the shit that comes with being fat, if it was just, oh, I'll stop eating so much and exercise some more? The question is a bit similar, like you have a kid, he jumps off a cliff and he dies. And someone says, clearly the cause of his death is hitting the ground too hard. And yes, if you look at it very, very, very simplistically, that is true. It was his body impacting the ground and getting crushed, which killed him. But you have to look at the cause, you have to look at why did he end up outside that cliff? Did he commit suicide? Were he perhaps blind and he couldn't see the cliff and fell off? Were he pushed? Did some part of the cliff give away so that you have to secure the place better? All of these things are very important to figure out exactly what killed this kid. And it is the same with overweight. Like, yes, I am fat. This is because I eat more calories, I take in more energy than I burn. But perhaps what some people should ask is why? Because first of all, you have some people can eat more energy than others before they get overweight, and for some people you have to really, really struggle all your life to stay thin. And I'm not just not doing that. I want to be able to enjoy my food. Secondly, I have some mental issues with when I have depressive periods. It's difficult for me to even get out of bed, much less making healthy food from the ground up. Thirdly, I have a problem with exercising because I am extremely uncoordinated, which is a symptom of the syndrome I have, Asperger's syndrome. I'm genetically disposed for overweight. I have a tendency that when I get depressed, I use comfort food. I have a negative connection with food in that when I grew up, food was comfort, food was celebration, food was everything. And so on and so on. There are a lot of reasons. And if you look at a fat person, you should be able to think that perhaps there are some reason why people are this way. It's not just that I sit and stuff their face. And even if people sit and stuff their face, it doesn't necessarily mean they're lazy. It might be that they are just happy. They think, okay, I can be I'm happier being fat and being able to eat whatever I want. That's not being lazy. That's taking a choice. It might not be a healthy choice. It might not be a wise choice, but it's a choice, and it doesn't mean that the person is lazy. I mean, it's not particularly healthy to go on those what that show named Survivor, yeah. It's not healthy being in that situation, but people make the choice. And why is it a problem that people make a different choice than the norm? I feel that yes, there is this stereotype that a pagan necessarily is fat and ugly and so on, but if you look around those stereotypes, you'll find about anything which is outside of the norm. The stereotype of BDSMer, fat, ugly, can't find a lover anywhere else. And the stereotype of a geek, fat, ugly. The stereotype of a feminist, fat, ugly. In a way, I think that the mainstream, in a way, uses those stereotypes to keep fringe groups down. It's like the saying, if you are normal, then you're thin, you're beautiful, you can be accepted, and if you're not, then it is because you are fat and ugly and can't find acceptance anywhere else. And that is stupid. Now, the only thing that I think might be because some people who might have been thinner if they hadn't been in the pagan community is that you have that earth goddess archetype. And I know that some people I've been admired by some people in the pagan community because of basically I'm a fertile woman who has the body shape of those earth goddess figurines. And it might not be the beauty standard of standard society, but within the pagan community, many considered that to be beautiful. And I think that for some people I think that might cause two things. First of all, it might cause some people who might have continue to struggle to lose weight, to say, okay, I'm beautiful the way I am. I look like the earth goddess. And I think that it might make some people who have struggled with their weight their entire life and see this community where one of the beauty standards is this big-breasted, big-thighed, shapeful woman, might think that might be a community I want to look into. And of course then you can get into the whole debate on whatever or not that means they get into it for the wrong reasons, but my video is running pretty long as it is, so I won't go into that, but basically, it is silly to judge people on their weight. Judge their actions, their knowledge, their skill, and so on, not their appearance. 2. Being overweight does not mean that you are lazy no matter what sort of reason. Of course there are lazy people who are overweight, but being overweight isn't an indication that someone is lazy. 3. I don't think there is that there are more people who are fat within the pagan community than within any other community. The only possible exception is that you have this beauty ideal that some pagans hold to, with a very womanly shaped earth goddess, and of course then people that look like her. And other than that, I don't see why there should be, and I don't think there are, and I definitely haven't seen it, any indication that there are more people who are overweight within the pagan community than other communities. However, since being different is more accepted within the pagan community, more of us that are overweight manage to keep our head high and just be who we are, even if we are fat. Basically, nobody has any business with your weight. There's one person in the world that has anything to say about my weight, about your weight, about everybody's weight, whoever might watch this. That person is you. It's the individual, and nobody but that individual has any right to say anything about your appearance. They might like it, they might dislike it, that's fine, but no matter how you look, that doesn't make you more or less of a person or more or less of a pagan. Now, before I end this video, I just want to thank Avalon Moon 91 for her video. I think it's great when people address this issue, and I hope you don't think I ranted too much in your video response. And when I say you and sound angry, I don't mean that I'm angry at you, I mean that I'm angry at the same people that you have expressed anger at. I think your video was great. Oh, and I love your pets, and that little pug is so adorable. Give him a kiss for me. Alright, have a great day, and blessed be.